It was a crisp October morning in 2024 when the letter arrived, stuffed unceremoniously between a flyer for artisanal pet treats and an invite to a fundraiser I had no plans to attend. The envelope was heavy, printed on thick ivory paper that screamed self-important before I even cracked it open. At the top, in a flowery font, were the words Willow Creek Homeowners Association. I was standing in the kitchen of our new home in Willow Creek, a quiet suburban enclave in upstate New York we'd moved to 6 months ago, chasing a slice of calm after years of grinding out a tech startup. My wife, Emily, was arranging dahlias in a glass vase, humming softly as sunlight poured through the tall windows. I waved the envelope with a mock groan. Here we go again, Em. The lawn police are probably mad our mailbox isn't the right shade of taupe. She laughed, her voice light and musical. Did you paint it ivory instead of ecru? You rebel. I tore it open, expecting another nitpicky rule about hedge height or garbage can placement. Instead, my eyes caught phrases that didn't compute. Legal action, unauthorized vehicle, title forfeiture. I blinked, reread it, and let out a sharp, disbelieving laugh. The Willow Creek HOA, led by one Margaret Voss, was suing me for my own Cara sleek, midnight black Bentley Flying Spur, parked innocently in my driveway. They claimed it was an unregistered commercial vehicle and accused me, a 24-year-old tech founder, of running an illegal luxury car service. The letter, signed with Margaret's ostentatious flourish, demanded I surrender the car for impoundment and inspection, or face fines and a lien on our property. I stared out at the Bentley, its curves glinting like a silent sculpture. That car wasn't just a purchase. It was a milestone, a reward for years of ramen-fueled coding marathons and deals that changed our lives. Emily and I bought it to mark our leap from struggle to success, a promise to savor the journey. And now, some stranger was trying to take it. You've got to see this, I said, handing the letter to Emily. Her face shifted from curious to incredulous as she scanned it, her green eyes narrowing with that fierce spark I knew so well. Emily's the warmest person I know, but cross her family, and you're staring down a lioness. She's suing us for our car? She thinks we stole it. Her voice was sharp, slicing through the absurdity. She's calling it a billionaire's Uber. This is insane. I shrugged, still half convinced it was a clerical error. I'll call the HOA, sort it out in 10 minutes. I'm a problem solver by trade code bugs. System crashes, I fix them with logic. This felt like a glitch in our idyllic new life, nothing a quick email couldn't patch. Willow Creek was supposed to be our haven, manicured lawns, ancient maples, neighbors who smiled and waved. We wanted a yard for a future puppy, a place where the biggest drama was whose turn it was to mow. But Margaret Voss, the HOA's self-styled queen, had other plans. I'd glimpsed her once, barking orders at a landscaping crew in a lime green blazer, her presence radiating grievance. Neighbors whispered about her reign of petty fines and vendettas, but we'd stayed under the radar, paid our dues, and kept to ourselves. Clearly, that wasn't enough. The HOA's phone system was a labyrinth of automated menus designed to break your spirit. When I finally reached a Humana board, curt woman, she brushed me off with a scripted line. All disputes must be addressed in writing to the board. MS. Voss handles legal matters personally. Click. She hung up. My confidence curdled into irritation. This wasn't a glitch, it felt targeted. I dug deeper and found the HOA office wasn't an office at a lit, was Margaret's house. She ran the whole show, bank accounts, bylaws, lawsuits from her dining room. This wasn't a system error, the system itself was rotten. 2 days later, certified mail brought a fresh assault. New fines totaling $40,000 for unapproved driveway resurfacing, tire marks from my own car, noise pollution from a silent electric Bentley, and operating an unpermitted business. It wasn't just absurd, it was predatory. My lawyer, Rachel, a no-nonsense litigator, didn't mince words. This is textbook power abuse. She's betting you'll pay to avoid the hassle. She's wrong. I shot back, my jaw tight. What's our play? Rachel advised documenting everything and avoiding direct contact with Margaret. Easier said than done. The harassment escalated. One evening, as Emily and I sipped wine on our porch, two men in cheap compliance uniforms loomed at the edge of our lawn, staring like hired goons. Just observing. One smirked when I confronted them, claiming they were on public property. They stood there for hours, a silent threat. Emily was rattled, and my annoyance hardened into fury. Then came the final straw. I was polishing the Bentley in the garage, classic jazz playing softly, when a police cruiser rolled up. A young officer, looking apologetic, cited a disturbance Margaret had reported me for maniacal laughter and revving a loud engine. The Bentley doesn't even have an engine to rev. When a second officer cuffed me for safety, Margaret appeared across the street, live streaming to her online cronies, crowing, "I told you he stole it." The crowd's cheers turned to gasps when the VIN check cleared me in minutes. The cuffs came off, and Margaret's smug grin vanished as the officers shot her a look of disgust and left. "This isn't over, kid," she hissed. That was it. She'd weaponized the police, sent thugs to our home, and fabricated fines to extort us. I was done playing nice. That night, in my home office, screens glowing like battle stations, I told Emily, "This isn't a neighborhood Anna Marie, it's a war zone." She nodded, her eyes fierce. "Then let's fight." I called my old partner, Ethan, a digital wizard who could sniff out secrets in a data storm. "When do we start?" he asked, grinning through the phone. Our house became a command center. I repurposed my commercial Dronia beast with a 12K camera for high-altitude surveillance of Margaret's house, legally flown over my property, but angled to catch her every move. I rigged directional mics on my roof, disguised as satellite dishes, capturing public street sounds. A thermal camera tracked heat signatures from her home. Ethan, meanwhile, tore into the HOA's laughably insecure website, mapping its weaknesses without breaking a sweat. "She's running their finances on a laptop from 2018 with no firewall," he chuckled. "It's a digital shack with a rusty lock." Our neighbor, Walter, a retired auditor obsessed with UFOs and bird watching, became an unexpected ally. "Is that drone catching government signals?" he asked. I told him it was for neighborhood security, and he unloaded years of grievances, fines for his wind spinners, a widow's oversized garden statue, a family's unapproved playset. Margaret's tyranny was a neighborhood-wide plague. The drone caught a pattern, a sedan idling in Margaret's driveway at 2 a.m. Nightly, driver never exiting. Ethan enhanced the footage, nabbing a partial plate linked to a shell company owned by Margaret's brother, Victor Voss, a shady developer with a trail of failed projects. Then we cracked the HOA's server password, Willow 123, and found a gold mine of fraud. Fake invoices for non-existent landscapers, pool services tied to vacant lots, all funneling money to Victor's companies. Over 3 years, Margaret had siphoned $600,000 from our dues. But why target me so aggressively? The answer came from Ethan's audio filters, sifting through days of street noise to isolate a faint call between Margaret and Victor. "Is the tech kid breaking?" Victor asked. "He's stubborn, lawyered up," Margaret replied. "Push harder," Victor growled. "The investors need that lot for the EV resort. It's got the only cliffside view for the spa." My blood ran cold. They didn't just want us out, they wanted our land for a luxury electric vehicle spa. The lawsuit, the fines, the goon sit was all to force us to sell cheap. This wasn't petty HOA nonsense. It was a real estate conspiracy. Emily's face hardened as she heard the recording. "They want to bulldoze our home for a charging station with candles?" Her voice was steel. "What's the plan?" Revenge tempted me blast the audio online, torch Margaret's reputation, but that wouldn't dismantle her system. We needed justice, not chaos. The annual HOA meeting was days away, Margaret's stage for her self-aggrandizing speeches. We'd make it her trial. Ethan built a presentation, forged invoices, bank transfers, drone footage, the audio. I rallied Walter to spread word among neighbors. The night before, Margaret's goons tried one last scare, banging on our door over a wrong porch light. I flipped on the high-pressure sprinklers I'd installed, soaking them as they slipped and cursed their way back to their car. A small win, but the real battle was coming. The meeting room buzzed with tension, triple the usual crowd packed into folding chairs. Margaret, in a scarlet blazer, radiated smug control, misreading the turnout as adoration. She droned about fence colors until I stood, thumb drive in hand. "I've got a presentation on the HOA's finances," I said. Her smile cracked. "That's not on the agenda," she snapped. Walter and others shouted her down. "Let him speak." Cornered, she relented. Ethan, parked nearby, streamed the feed live to every resident, local news, and the DA's office. I started with the $10,000 noise fine paired with silent Bentley footage. Then the invoices, bank transfers, all tracing to Victor. The drone clips showed his car's nightly visits. The room grew restless, angry. Then the audio played Margaret's voice sneering, Victor's plotting the EV spa. The crowd erupted, a mutiny ignited. But Ethan's final message froze me. A forged soil report, dated weeks from now, declaring our home's land unstable, signed by Commissioner Ellis, a silent partner in Victor's spa deal. This wasn't just Margaret, it was a corrupt web reaching City Hall. I flashed the report on screen, zooming in on Ellis's signature and the city seal. This was their incognito condemn our home. The room went silent, then exploded again. Neighbors called the mayor, the DA, reporters. Margaret bolted, shoving past Walter, only to crash a golf cart into a police cruiser waiting outside detectives, not beat cops, sent by the DA. The crowd cheered as she was cuffed, her empire collapsing in real time. The HOA board resigned under pressure, and within days, Margaret, Victor, and Ellis faced indictments. The spa deal vanished, fines were voided, and stolen funds recovered. A new board, led by Walter, rewrote the bylaws for fairness. Willow Creek transformed, neighbors laughed, hosted barbecues, rebuilt trust. Emily and I found our peace, the Bentley gleaming as we drove through a free, vibrant community. But here's where it gets messy. Was I a hero or a vigilante? Did exposing Margaret justify my surveillance, my bending of legal lines? Should I have stopped at her, or was dragging Ellis down worth the risk? What would you do if your home was targeted? How far is too far to protect what's yours? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe. You're just getting started.